And we are live. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Saturday edition of the Let's Talk Fishing video podcast. My name is Jay Angel, and I'm going to be your host. Let's Talk Fishing podcast is brought to you by Rat Rods, Crusher Lures, and of course the American Bass Boat. With me today, I have a special podcast I'm going to be doing with Anthony Pendergrass of Titan Lures and Mark Jackson. They are both of South Dakota. Mark is a bass tournament fisherman. And Tony likes to fish for both trout and crappies. It's been a long time since I caught a trout.
I like them. I'm telling you, it's real fun. I enjoy it.
Well, I lived in Alaska for 2 years, so I'm no string. So also I lived in Michigan, where all the trout come in from the Great Lakes and they have native trout. So yeah, I've caught them before. Just now I live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where we bring in trout in December.
They import them on trucks, don't they?
Yeah.
There's a big difference between wild caught and them farm fresh for sure. The tails, everything is just more pretty about them too. I like it.
There's nothing like catching a native brook trout. My goodness, What a beautiful fish, huh?
Oh yeah, they're pretty aggressive too. They'll eat them rainbows.
Oh yeah, I caught some beautiful fish up in Alaska, like the Dolly Varden trout, which is also known as the Arctic shark, and some out of this world size steelhead. I mean, you're talking. I had a guide one time, and I went out there, and the third cast, I hooked into this fish. I said, "This must be a king," and it jumped. He said, "That's no king." This thing is like 30 inches long. I'm like, "That's not a steelhead." He goes, "Yeah, it is." I'm like,
That's one of the fish. That's one of the fish I want to catch. Oh yeah, I'd love to catch one of them bad boys. That's on the bucket list for sure. Yeah.
I believe that was the month of August up in Alaska. I took the month of August off I was working offshore, so I had 2 weeks off, and one time it fell beautifully right in August. I mean, I took off in my RV. See ya. I'll be back in 2 weeks.
That'll be all right.
I mean, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So why don't we talk about Titan Lures? Tell me a little bit about Titan Lures, Tony.
Well, we're made right here in Rapid City, South Dakota. Veteran owned and operated. We started as a legitimate business, say about 5 years ago. I've been fishing my whole life, and we started in a tiny little garage with a couple molds, and started making baits and just kind of making our way up from there.
Wow. So okay, so you make soft plastic lures. What do you make? What kind of fish do you target for these?
I got anything from a 0.25 inch bait all the way up to a 12-inch grub. So I mean, you name it. Ice baits. Yeah, I make ice baits all the way up to a 12-inch Alaskan grub there. So wow. I mean, I got plenty of creatures. Got a couple custom sets of baits. The Z-Bug. I got 3 different sizes of the D grub, and then I have the Z sticks, and those aren't too terrible.
Why don't you show me a Z-Bug?
Let's see if I got one back here. I may have them. I think I sold the last final set here.
Folks, he's going to get one of.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, there's a pretty little Z-Bug here. About 4.5 inches.
A creature bait, huh?
Yeah, this is a creature bait. Yeah, black and blue is what this one's in, but nice little tray bait.
Down here they're at that awkward stage where they're kind of coming into pre-spawn, but then it gets cold, so they go back out. And I love throwing big, obnoxious baits like that.
Right? Yeah. Definitely makes a lot of noise in the water for sure. When you're pulling it, those appendages are just going crazy. And Mark loves to throw them.
Mark, is that when you throw those? You throw those for pre-spawn?
When I'm flipping and pitching, I throw it a lot. Yes.
Man, I would too.
It's a bait. I feel that bait thrives in wood more than other cover, but I catch them in all the cover. But I think the wood is the best I think it's more open so the bait can expand because the appendages offer a lot of lifelike movement in the water, and
Yeah.
I think that's a key trigger when you're fishing it. So I throw that and a few other lures he makes as well. If I want something to glide, that bait's designed to drop straight when it hits the water.
Okay.
If you need a bait more so for gliding, then there's other lures to use that he has, some other bugs that he has.
So what would you use for gliding then, Mark?
Oh, I don't know which one will show up best, but
This is the 4-inch stinger bud,
Oh yeah.
and then I got a 3-inch. It's a 3.25-inch version of that as well.
Boy, I would like that for punching.
Yeah.
and you can add either one of these baits to the back of a jig too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Texas rigging for punching with an ounce.
Yeah.
An ounce of tungsten on it, or actually right now, it's like late winter right now, between late winter and early spring and early pre-spawn. So yeah, we're throwing a lot of jigs right now. Man,
Yeah.
I want something in the cold water. I just want something big and obnoxious on the back of that thing. It's just gonna.
Right.
Yeah.
Big and obnoxious.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
When you come to this place, it's like a kid in a candy store because he's always got something new or some new color, and it's like, oh, I got to have this. Oh, I got to have that. Drives you nuts.
Yeah. You can never have too many soft plastic lures. I mean, that's just,
No.
I don't think so. I don't think Mark ever leaves here empty-handed. That's for sure. So
Here, look at this big day.
my crazy life, I have actually. Oh, what's that?
Look at that thing.
Man, that's a big old swim bait. What is that? 4.5 inches? 5 inches?
6-inch.
6. Goodness.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's see if I can have. I got a comparison somewhere. Yeah.
I think my brother buys some of these, don't he?
He
What's
does.
wrong with?
This is like your 3.8-inch swim bait versus. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go.
I like
Look at
that.
that chunk. That chunk on the left, folks. Look at that chunk, man.
Not that little one.
Yeah, this one's
Dum, dum,
You don't
dum,
have
dum,
that
dum,
version
dum,
of the right.
dum.
Yeah, I need to get some of them. Yeah, I like that.
I need to get
I like it a lot.
Mark's gonna get some. He's checking them out, I guess.
I need a few of those.
Well, when you throw a swim bait, he's got two versions that I like, and one of them is much tighter wiggle in the spring. That's when I like to throw that because your bait fish are small and they got that tighter wiggle. But as it warms up, your bait fish grow. They have a much more side to side, so that's when this fatter design comes into play. Or, if you're fishing Texas where there's really big bass, then maybe you can throw this big boy. But it's all science, I guess. So
Well, I tell you, I can't tell you how many times I've been disappointed throwing like a 6-inch swim bait, and I catch a bunch of 12 or 14-inch bass. They're just so those you know how teenagers are.
Yeah.
Something like that comes around. Hey, listen here, man. I'm in charge of it.
Yeah.
And they hit it just to get it away from them.
Mark don't like me on his boat because I use too light a line. I'm a light line fisherman.
I am too. And I made that mistake down here, Mark. Too light line, too soft in action.
a few years ago, my son and I and Tony were down at Angostura where our local fisheries. Water was high, woods in the water. My son's throwing a jig. I'm throwing the Z-Bug on a new color we was trying out and flipping the hard cover. And Tony's in the back of the boat, sitting in the seat with 4-pound test spinning rod, with a little thing.
Having a good old time. I got broke off more times than none, but it was still fun.
It was fun.
I was catching smallmouth off little 2-inch baits too, though. I was having a good old time with it.
I tell you what, some of the biggest smallmouth bass I've ever caught have been a 4-pound test. Just a little, inch and a half long, up there in Michigan in those crystal clear waters.
Yeah, they just.
I was in the Air Force. I had all kinds of time. I didn't have any bills back then. I thought I did. Yeah.
Nice.
All kinds of time, no money. Now I have money and no time.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's why I have a shop and I make baits. I live vicariously through my customers. I sell baits. They tell me all their cool stories. Makes me happy. So, yeah.
So, Tony, TitanLures.com. Like I'm like scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Is that how somebody could order Titan Lures?
Yeah, it's TitanLuresCo.com. Yeah, I think TitanLures.com will get to it too. Yep.
Let me try that out real quick.
Titan Lures Co. SD, isn't it?
Either one. We own both of those deals there. So.
Yeah.
And we're in the midst of reframing our website, so it kind of looks a little funky, but it'll be all right.
He is right, folks. I'm going to. I apologize about that.
That's right. Figured we'd take up some airtime. Just
Titan Lures Co.
CoSD.com.
no, just code.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, TitanLuresCo.com.
Yeah. There you go. That works.
TitanLuresCo.com. Please forgive my little screw up there. Okay, you want to show some of the other lures that you make? You also make lures for crappies, don't you?
I make lures for crappie. Yeah, I got a couple over here that I brought in out of my little personal. This is my personal rambunctious throw together box, but yeah, I mean it just varies on how I'm really looking for them. Generally, I like to throw a grub at first, and then we'll try to find them, track them, see how active they are. If they're looking for like a dead style fall kind of thing, or if they're looking for a paddle tail quick movement, you know, I'm more of a bank fisherman. I do have a kayak, and I generally am. But once I find them, I bang them up with these bad boys here. They work.
Is that an inch and a half? Or?
This is a 2-inch. Yeah, this is a 2-inch. I have a 2.37 as well, and then I have. Yeah, that's it. I think I got a 2-inch and 2.37, and that's stinger bait. And then for ice baits, and I mean, like I said, I'm an open water little line fisherman, so I got this little tiny. This is a 2-inch, but it's real tiny tail. I think we got light here, but yeah. Anyway, they're real small, little split tails. I mean, this is that 2-inch bait that I caught them smallmouth on when I was on the back of Mark's boat there.
And he needs to get out more on Mark's boat too, by the way. We got to fix that.
You want to hold that up there again?
Yeah. This is kind of an earthworm color, but let's try this again.
It's like a micro beaver.
Yeah, it's a beaver. Got a couple appendages on the front end of it.
Oh,
This
wow.
is and then I got a 1-inch version of it as well. Just depends on how the fish are biting that day.
If you click that, wow. How would you rig that, Mark?
I'm sorry?
How would you rig that for smallmouth?
Probably on a small round head jig head.
Okay, or you can put that on a net rig too.
Ned rig, absolutely.
Maybe a little small for a Ned rig, I think.
Well, the bigger version might be okay, but
And then I got
this here's a pretty dynamite bait.
this is my find and look bait. So it's got a bunch of ribs in it. This is the little D. I got this is a 2.6. Then I have a 3.3 version, and then I have a 4.5.
If you threw that in those waters in South Dakota, you'd probably bring up walleyes too.
Yeah, this is definitely a search and destroy bait here. This is when they're active, and I guess here's all the different sizes of that style grub that I got. But yeah, they got the heavy ribs in them, so they make a ton of noise while they're rocking through the water like that. But and the tail action's just I don't think it's matched by too much.
That's custom, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the custom. Only find it right here.
Wow. Wow, in those waters up there, that'd be a dangerous thing to throw.
Yeah. A couple months ago, me and the wife went out, or I went out the day before her to go check the water. It was a little windy on the river, and I was fishing from a dock, and a guy said, "You can't catch nothing with plastics out here, yada, yada, yada." Limited in 30 minutes, walked away. He was still fishing, trying to catch its limit. And then I brought the wife back the next day. He was still there, and he just couldn't believe that we caught our limit so fast.
Well, yeah, I love it when people you can't catch fish here doing that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes me want to catch them even more. But it's tough because it's confidence fishing, right? Like when you fish, like you're not going to catch a fish if you're not confident in the bait you're throwing. Like 100%. You're not going to leave the bait in the water long enough. You're not going to throw it long enough. You're not confident in your bait. Your confidence in your bait. You're not going to catch fish. That's it.
I think Mark's listened to enough of my podcast. You know, that's one of the main topics I talk about is confidence.
Yeah, it's just yeah, I feel like it's just key. I mean, you have to play with your bait. You do. I mean, at the end of the day, you know the fish are there. You just got to figure out why they're not biting. And like one day, me and the wife and kids went out in a John boat. First time we ever went out. The John boat's rocking like crazy. It's windy. We're getting blown around, and I'm trying to cast. I see the fish. I see these trout. They're beautiful, amazing. I mean, and we're casting, and they're falling but not biting, falling not biting. And I'm using a white bait. And that's generally white or pink is generally the go-to on that lake. And I put my rod down to fix my son's his tangle. And so as I'm doing that, they start nailing it, right? And I'm like, okay, this is working. So I was like, everyone, just throw your lines up and let them sit. These were 3-inch swim baits. They were 3-inch swim baits, and they were doing nothing. They weren't swimming or anything, and they literally just tore them up. So we just caught fish for, another 30, 40 minutes nonstop because you just found what they were biting on, So same bait, just different presentation.
They have the name for that is head sticking. I mean, that's a thing.
Yeah, that's weird.
Part of picking the puzzle apart.
Here, I'll show you a cool one I don't have on my website. That's
top secret. You can come to South Dakota sometime, Jay.
I'd love to. I actually went there one time. I think I might even been in your.
Yeah. You have a place to stay. Just remember that. You have a place to stay at my house if you ever come to South Rapid City.
Well, thank you. I think I'm in the Rapid City to hunt pheasants.
Yeah. Well, just come to Rapid City, and you and me and Tony will load up in the boat, and we'll go down to Angostura, multi-species of fish in there, and we'll go fish for a day.
That would be great.
Someday it will happen. Someday,
yeah. Someday we'll have. So
you're gonna win a plane ticket. How about that?
You had to pick one of his baits for largemouth bass in South Dakota. What would you pick, and what presentation would you employ with it?
Oh boy. No, to use through all from spring to fall, any season?
Spring. Big bass season.
It would have to be the Z-bug or a swim bait.
I was going to say
one of the swim baits. Okay, would you use a 6-inch swim bait?
No. I would probably start with around a 3.5 to 3 to 4 inch. Probably the 3.5. I'd probably rig it on an underspin too, possibly.
There you go.
That's probably where I'd start, and if there was some cover, I'd be throwing the Z-bug or a jig, this bait too is a good bait. It'd be more of a glide bait. Sometimes they want that glide. You can stick it out there on a lightweight, and she'll just glide under the cover, so to speak, too. So. But swim bait, I've become pretty fond of the swim bait. So.
Oh yeah, particularly in your clear water. Yeah.
Yeah. That guy.
Yeah, that's good. This is what I got. It's not on my website, but this is a pretty sweet little bait. It's I don't know if you probably do remember Montgomery Ward. They used to sell a bait called the Do Nothing Tadpole. So this is kind of a mimic of the Do Nothing Tadpole. So basically, it's already pre-rigged with a 4-aught frog hook, and you just cast her out there on a drop shot and just let her sit there, and she just flutters. And I don't know. I've caught a lot of big fish, and some fish I just can't pull up with that thing. I've been broke off a lot on that thing for some reason or another. I do fish light line. I think that day I was fishing 8 pound, but 4 pound test. Yeah, I think the lightest line I've ever used is 1.5 pound. So 1.5 pounds.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's just so fun. Like for me, the thrill of catching is more than the thrill of getting them in the boat.
Yeah, but
I
you're
don't
gonna
have to
get
see.
more bites.
What's that?
You get more bites with white snake.
100%, and I guess that's my belief too. Is that I do get a lot more bites with it. You don't have so much stiffness in the line controlling that lure, so it's actually doing what it's supposed to do instead of kind of being yanked around by the actual solid line. I mean, I lived in California for a long time too. I mean, I used to use 200-pound test, and some of those fish did. I mean, yeah.
You have sturgeon around where you live?
I did not. I didn't live in Northern California. I lived in Southern California, so we were catching tuna, albacore, yellowtail.
You have something that goes faster than missiles.
Yeah. Wahoo. That was fun. That was real fun. Wahoo were a real good time.
I've actually seen tuna. I've never fished one.
They're pretty fun. Super aggressive initial runs, and then after that, it's just kind of a down and hard fight, and then you get tired, and they get tired, and then eventually they give up. So.
I know when I fished offshore in Alaska, when I caught the halibut, it was like I was young and hooked into Dad's anchor.
Yeah, I think the biggest halibut I caught was 46 inches, and
was it about 80 pounds?
I was 17 years old and was just out there doing nothing, so I didn't have any weight or anything to it. Threw it back. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. Just plopped under a bridge, and I thought I had the ground, and I was like walking backwards trying to get it unsnagged, and all of a sudden it just took off. And I was like, okay, we got a fish.
Oh yeah, I like the salmon in Alaska. I like the trout and some northern pike I caught up there. I caught a 46-incher and a 48-incher. And the 48-incher did not get big fish of trip when we took a flying trip out of Fairbanks.
Huh.
And a 48.5 actually won it. Just a bunch of four guys, everybody throwing $100. Big fish takes it all.
Nice.
48-inch pike didn't take it.
Wow. Holy cow. No.
2 days. So
I think the funnest fish I ever caught was probably going to be a striper out of Georgia, Carter's Lake. It was 46.2 pounds. It was a monster off a live trout. Wow. So yeah, just
stripers too. Yeah,
those are pretty hot. Those are some salty fighting fish. I'll give you that. Like there's nothing like it. That's fun, especially freshwater. Just
that's what I was going to say. Come on down here and fish redfish with me.
Oh, I'd love to.
They get about that big. I've caught them up to 40 inches long. They get a lot bigger than that too.
Really? Well, they're part of the drum family, aren't they?
Yes, they're actually called red drum. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
they probably look like a common carp to you guys, but they're
common carp. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're like a common carp who didn't get fat. They're just all muscle. And they taste good, and they hit the.
Yeah, all right.
It's a lot of fun. So Mark.
Yeah. Mark's back here. He's taking pictures of baits he wants.
I'm actually taking pictures. I'm going to sell them for him. Try to.
Sell them for him.
And the ones
the first thing, free spawn in South Dakota. What is your go-to presentation?
Jerk. Well, for smallmouth, I'll throw jerk bait for sure. 42-degree water.
And how are you going to work that jerk
bait? Bite it too. Jig. As it gets up into the 50s, I keep throwing a swim jig. I'll throw a jerk bait. I'll throw a swim bait, and I'll flip some baits. And as it creeps into the 60s, you start looking for beds and finding fish moving around the beds, and throw a Z-bug at them. I'll throw white Z-bugs at them on a bed, and they'll eat it. That's kind of what I do, I guess, around our local lakes, our man-made reservoirs.
The red color for free spawn bandwagon yet?
Red?
Yes.
That's something I've never thrown a lot of is red.
Go red?
we got that fire tiger chatterbait. I'll throw chatterbait too. And
Oh yeah.
the red's never been a big thing for me. Our clear waters and stuff, I try to stay more natural.
Sure.
After moving like a jerk bait and stuff. No. Jerk bait, in the clear water, sometimes I'll go with a little bit louder color to get a reaction bite.
I love the pink.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's a smallmouth killer right there, baby.
Oh yeah. So I've got a lot of merch.
Why don't you send that to me?
Yeah.
That's a cool color, man. The smallmouth will eat that up.
Duo just has a lot of good colors.
Yeah,
I'm constantly impressed by Duo International and the colors that they're coming up with.
There's so many colors to choose from. You gotta keep it simple. If you ask me, I used to get caught up in that a little bit too, and I still do once in a while. But I try to follow the KISS rule. Keep it simple, stupid. So that's my plan.
Yeah, so you're going to keep it simple. So
that's what I try to do. I like simple.
You got to tell that to the crank or the popper. He told me to paint like 3 times because he didn't like the color there.
Yeah, I'd show that to you, Jay, but it's kind of a secret. So they don't make these anymore. Someday I'll probably have a 20-pound pike come up and gulf it down, and it'll be gone. But
my favorite color of all time is got to be green pumpkin.
It is. It's the number 1 selling color.
Mine's white.
White?
Yeah, white. White's my favorite. Seems to make it happen every time.
It does. Just think about it. When you see bait fish in the water, everything's got a white belly.
Yeah.
Just think about it.
Black. I'm down south. I just can't get away from blue black.
Even some crawdads have a light tan belly. I don't know about white, but a bone color. Just you think about it. Everything's white or bone on the belly.
Shad.
Yes.
Just
yeah. See, there you go. Yeah. Just the white bait.
This thing, man. This thing going along the surface.
Yep.
Right after they get, I'll tell you what, the white twister tail back in the 70s, I caught some. I can't even tell you. If the white bass were in the area, you weren't going to get cast down. It gets the bigger fish.
Hey, have you ever seen a Ned rig this big?
Never. What is that thing?
It's the body to my 12-inch grub.
Yeah. It's part of a 12-inch grub without the tail, but when you take the tail off, it looks like a giant Ned rig.
It does. Or a big old larva.
Funny out looking at that thing, man. It's huge.
I don't think I got any 12-inch grubs laying around either. Or else I'd show you. Those things are monsters.
That muskies. That's all I can think about for a 12-inch grub like that.
Yeah, muskies and halibut up in Alaska. Pretty much the only sellers of those bad boys. But they take about a cup and a half of plastic, so that's a lot. That's a lot.
You might be surprised how many bass fish are.
I should have advertised them.
You never know.
Down here, yeah. Texas, those guys. Texas fishermen, they're just absolute fanatics.
Oh yeah. I can contest to that. I think a lot of people from Texas love that. They love that Falcon Red though too down there in Texas.
Oh yeah.
That's like what is it? Roadrunner. I forgot the name of that other color. But man, it's like so asked for so many times, like Falcon Red and that I think. Gosh, I want to say it's Roadkill or Roadrunner Red or something like that. But it's been. That's been the color. If I had to sell one down there, fish one color out there, that's going to be that one because everyone seems to want it.
Oh yeah, they all. And one of them jumps on the bandwagon. They all do.
Yeah.
I really, man, if I had to pick a state, it definitely wouldn't be Louisiana. Probably Texas. Or Tennessee. If I had to live somewhere,
Oh yeah. Yeah, Tennessee, Georgia, they got some big old fish out there too.
Oh yeah, just love the area, love the fishing, love the diversity of everything there.
I think
Whitetails, smallmouth bass,
yeah, you name it.
largemouth bass, just
Striper,
cool stuff.
Viper, yeah, they got it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're glitching out.
Well, hey, would either of you two guys like to do any shout outs, any thank yous to any organizations, companies, people?
Remote maker.
Well, Fat Guys Fishing makes a lot of my molds. So I guess here's the mold that I shoot, guys. If we could have shot some on live, that's basically what they look like. I take the plastic, hot mold plastic, shoot it in there. I get different colors just by mixing my different colors. Yeah, so fatguysfishing.com. You can buy molds, injectors, plastic. You can buy all that fun stuff there. It's a one-stop shop, glitter, you name it, you can buy it. And then you can use code STASH11 if you want 11% off. That's just a little niche they give me because I promote
guys, Stash 11.
Stash 11, yeah, like the mustache.
You want to show the camera that, please?
What'd you say?
He said, "What was that at the end?"
Oh, I was just.
No, I'd like you to show the camera that.
Yeah. This is what it looks like when they come out of the molds. They're all attached on a deal, and you hang them up to dry, and then you just pick them off.
Yeah, just in case you guys didn't know how this process works. I've seen it so many times.
Yeah, I guess I forget that too.
You know, yeah, guys are interested in the behind the scenes kind of stuff, you know. So
Yeah.
Stash 11 for a discount.
Stash, like mustache 11. Yeah.
Stash 11, guys. Stash 11.
Yeah. During the springtime, I cut my beard off and just have a mustache, so that's why it's there.
Okay, Stash 11.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Mark, would you like to do any shout outs or anything?
You know, Titan Lure's number one. You know, whenever I need something, or even if I'm in a hurry before a tournament, you know, he busts it out for me. And him and Jessica are very good to me. And I really appreciate what they do for us. And, you know, all my other pro staff sponsors, I got Ardent standing behind me pretty strong. And JB's Fish Sauce, which I use with the Titan Lures plastic. It'll actually infuse into the plastic. It's pretty amazing how that works. Hayabusa Hooks, Woo Tungsten, Seagar Line. Gosh, I'm going to miss somebody. I know it. Power Pole, of course. They're very good to me. Everybody on my staff page, on my Facebook page, you know, they're always there when I need something. But I really appreciate Titan Lures. They're local, you know, and they're always there when I need them. So that's my biggest one. And Jay Engel Fishing Podcast, you know. We wouldn't be who we are today without you, Jay.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And you know what? I wouldn't be where I am today without you, Mark. You were instrumental in the very front end of this, and for that I'll be forever grateful.
Yeah, and I'm really enjoying my Bassin magazine subscription too. You know, that was cool.
Oh, thank you.
That's very affordable. So
yeah,
we appreciate what you do.
You know, you have to be like you guys if I'm going to work with you. You know,
Yeah.
Brad Yule definitely has that family atmosphere at his magazine, and that's why I'm very proud to be part of it.
Yeah.
So proud to be, you know, promoting Mark Zacher and Tony Pendergrass and Titan Lures.
We thank you for that.
Okay, with that, guys, I'm going to end the podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Thank everybody for tuning in to the Let's Talk Fishing podcast. Again, my name is Jay Angel. I was your host with Tony Pendergrass and Mark Zacher of Titan Lures. And Let's Talk Fishing podcast is brought to you by Crusher Lures, Grant Rods, and the American Bass Club. Stick around, guys.